Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Here a quick guide for the Lightning Wolf's Beastmaster in Last Epoch. The Lightning Wolf Beastmaster is a critical minion build that is built around the unique helm Howl of the West Wind, which will grant your wolves additional melee lightning damage equal to your melee lightning damage. And as it is flat damage, we can scale this quite nicely. We're using the Tempest's more unique axe as it provides melee lightning damage from both the base and from the modifiers. And with its quite low effective level of legendary potential, we can also add even more additional melee lightning damage on this item. With some mid-maxing, you can get up to 104 added melee lightning damage from this, and also you can have increased minion melee damage as a suffix. By using the Harmony of Blade passive, we can now also equip another one of these axes in our offhand. Currently I got around 140 total melee lightning damage from my axes, and this is also without the increased minion melee damage as a suffix, so there's still some room for improvements here. If you don't have this unique axe, don't worry, you can still use a normal crescent axe with a decent roll on it. All you really need to get started is the Howl of the West Wind helmet. And also, as this is a critical build, getting a body armor with the base minion melee critical strike chance is also really helpful. So the build's maximum wolves at the moment is 5 for this build, and how it works is that when we hit an enemy with a lightning skill, we have a chance to trigger the helm and our wolves will get all the melee damage equal to our lightning damage. And this buff stays up for around 5 seconds and have to get triggered once again after that. To trigger this, we are using Swipe by converting it to lightning, and we also have a chance to trigger Spirit Wolves from the Wild Calling passive node, and each of these Spirit Wolves scales with the stats of the wolf that it's released from and helps out mostly with clearing while we're doing monoliths. We're also using Maelstrom to help triggering the buff to our wolves, but not from the actual skill, as it's not a lightning or a hit skill, but from the power of the storm, which will strike a nearby enemy with lightning each second. We have 6 or more stacks of Maelstrom on us. We're also getting permanent uptime of haste and frenzy from this as well. The Maelstrom stacks we get from using the skill Warcry, but we also get a huge amount of critical strike chance here for our wolves. And by setting up a simple auto loop cast here, we can have permanent uptime of our buffs from Warcry and also all the buffs from the Maelstrom stacks. We're using Frenzy Totem, so the wolves have some more uptime for the Frenzy buff, and for mobility we're using Fury Leap, and by using the node pack leader, make it so our wolves will leap with us. This is a huge quality of life to have for some extra control over our wolves. The build got some really nice burst damage, but as most minion builds is not the greatest for clearing, as the minions run around a lot, and even as this build have quite a lot of move speed for the wolves, it doesn't really feel like it helps a lot. Good thing, as I just recently mentioned, that we are using the leap skill here, and at least then we still have them fairly close to us by all of the time. For defense, it's not the best, I would say. We get different damage reductions from the passive skill tree and some from aspect of the boar, and we also get a pretty decent chunk of armor, as we're stacking quite a bit of strength here, as it gives both armor and also increase our health for our wolves and also the damage. For some pros, it got some really great burst damage. It's a minion build, it's very easy to get started here, and it's fairly beginner friendly, I would say. You only really need a Howl of the West Wind helmet to get started. For some cons, it can be hard to scale the defense, and you also have to be in close combat to use the swipe, and also the minion running animation here being as there is. And for the uniques, let's start with Howl of the West Wind, which is the build enabling piece. And here we have some chance on hit with lightning skills to grant your wolves melee lightning damage equal to your melee lightning damage. We also get some flat melee lightning damage here, chance to shock on melee hit, movement speed for our minions, and wolves cannot be stunned, and also 30% chance for wolves to retaliate with lightning strike when hit. Using 2 Tempest Maw axes, and the axe itself is not very impressive, but with the right legendary potential on it, it can be a really strong weapon for this build and can give us up to 208 melee lightning damage combined, the two of them. First, some lightning damage from the base and from the mod here. We also get some spell lightning damage here as well. the strength and attribute, and the strength scales both for the health and damage for our wolves. And actually, if you are spec'd into Shaman's Bond in this wolf skill tree, you can also make it so the wolves now also scale with the attunement. However, it's 5 more points in the passive tree that I don't really think it's worth taking for this setup. Death Rattle is another which will increase the minion critical strike multiplier up to 100%. The base itself also helps for our build, but that's pretty much it. We also get some intelligence here, and it also makes it so our minions now take some increased damage. Ribbon of Blood is quite optional if you manage to get one with minion damage. As a LP, I think is worth using. We get some increased health here, a percentage of minion melee damage leads as health on hit, and also with the increased leech rate for the minions, and also some flat melee physical damage for minions. And it also makes it so our minions don't take any of the extra damage from crits. And lastly, we have a Decision of the Erased Primalist. This gives us +1 to level of all Primalist skills, less damage taken from slowed enemies, and a chance on hit to grant one of our minions Aspect of the Spider, which will last for 8 seconds and grant 15% more damage to slowed enemies. And as this is a Weaver's Will unique, the rest of the stats will be random for each person, but some to look out for is going to be minion damage, strength, health, and also resist. For stats for this build, try to go for as much health as you can, resist, critical strike avoidance for the cap, flat melee lightning damage, increased minion damage and also minion melee damage, and also strength. And for the class specific stats, try to go for +2 level of Summon Wolf, the base minion melee critical strike chance, and also minion critical strike multiplier. For the idols, you want to go for 4 Adorn idols with the increased healing effectiveness, and the most important one here is going to be the increased minion attack speed as the suffix. And for some blessings, some of the more notable one is going to be from the Black Sun, the Void Resist here, or you can also go for health, Ending the Storm for the chance to shred lightning resist on hit, Reign of Dragon, you can get up to 20% to all resistance, or the critical strike avoidance for the easy cap. The Age of Winter for some physical resist, or you can also go for increased armor. And Spirit of Fire, here you want to go for increased minion damage. And let's go quickly the most important nodes for the skills, starting with Summon Wolves. So Summon Wolves is going to be our companions and the main source of our damage. Pack Hunters make it so we can have 1 additional wolf. Safety in numbers makes so we now summon all of the wolves at once. Legendary Bite for some huge damage multiplier here for the melee damage. Melee stun chance increase as well, and also more melee crit chance. Savage Hunter for even more damage multiplier for our wolves. Victory Howl makes so our wolves now have a chance to howl when they kill a enemy. And Howl of Might for some extra damage multipliers here, and this is also going to be triple if Howl have been used recently. The next skill that we have is called Swipe, and this is as a filler skill and also works as a trigger mechanism for the helm, so the wolf get all of our added lightning damage. Umeal Guidance makes it so the base of the skill now goes to lightning, and we also get the 100% shock chance. Wild Calling makes so when we are attacking with the Swipe and hit at least one enemy, we have a chance to call the Spirit Wolf from each of our summoned wolf. Feline Hunter for the global attack speed and also cost speed when we have Aspect of the Panther up. And we're also using Calling here for the kill threshold here, 40% when we hit the enemy with Swipe, great for bossing. We have Maelstrom here, which will give us different buffs, and this will get triggered when we are using the Warcry skill. First we have Wind Sweep, and also Wind Fury, which makes it so we get Haste and Frenzy if we have 6 or more stacks of Maelstrom on us. Using Healing Wind, just so we can heal our wolf a little bit when they are inside of Maelstrom. Whirlpool will increase the duration of Maelstroms. Power of Storm makes so we shoot out lightning when we have 6 or more stack of Maelstrom, and this will also help to trigger the added lightning damage to our wolves. We're using Warcry here to buff our minions with a lot of crit chance, and also to apply ourselves with Maelstrom stacks. Shallow Breath will reduce the cooldown by 50% of Warcry. Juggernaut makes us invulnerable for 1 second after we have used the Warcry skill. Whirlpool is the thing that will give us our Maelstrom stack when we are using Warcry. Bringer of Winter makes it so our minions now get the increased critical strike chance here 100% and also a chance to shield. and Battery just for some extra increase to critical strike chance. And the last skill that we are using is called Fury Leap, and this works as our mobility skill. Pack Leader makes so our wolf now also will leap with us. Frenzied Onslaught makes so ourself and also our minion gain Frenzy for 3 seconds when we are using Leap. Using Wing of Endurance here makes so when we are landed, our minions and ourselves now get some healing. And Bat Blue makes so we cleanse all elements on us and also for our minions when we are using Leap. Panther Strike for the cooldown recovery speed. Hero's Protection makes us immune to damage while we are leaping. And Legion's Wrath just makes so the Fury Leap summons some lightning bolts when we land, and this will also help to trigger the added lightning damage for our wolves. And here a quick preview of the passive skill tree, but for more information about the build I do recommend you go and check out the last Epoch build planner. Both for the passives and the skills you can simply use the progression bar at the bottom to easily see when and where to progress in the build. To the top of the build planner you can also go to loot filters, where you can find my ultimate loot filter with a lot of options depending on how strict you want it to be. Link for this will be in the description. So what do you think about the Lightning Wolves Beastmaster? Have you tried it before or tried another version of it? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. If you want to support the channel even further, you can check out my Patreon for behind the scenes footage, virtual hangouts and more. If you got any other questions, feel free to drop a comment and try to answer them as soon as I can. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!